Hi everybody, it's Dive Whisperer again. We're on the rooftop of CoCo View and another beautiful spot up here. But today we want to talk about how to get here. And there's a few issues that both Canadians and Americans are having. And it's about testing. So this is going to be part one of how to get here and some tips to how hopefully we can help you get that done. So to my fellow Canadians, it's actually pretty easy for us to get a PCR test. That's the only thing that we do, and with our healthcare system, it's just a matter of going up there and getting it. There's a number of things you have to get on that sheet, and sometimes it isn't necessarily clear, so make sure it actually reads with this information. Number one, you got to have the name the same as your passport. Number two, it's got to say it's a PCR test, and then that's got to be negative. And most importantly is you got to get a date and time, because that's how they measure it. Because all this has to be done within 72 hours of your arrival, whether it's going to be here at Roatan or onto the mainland. Downside is that once you've completed your lovely trips coming to CoCo, is that you're going to have to go home and you have to quarantine yourselves for 2 weeks. Now, for those of you who are working from home already, this isn't a big issue. Those of you that got an option to work at home, well, that might be the option you're going to pull. So for us, and also we know that coming up in the next couple of months, Air Transat's going to be start sending trips down here directly from Toronto, I think Montreal, directly to Roatan. So look for that and just keep that in mind. Now, for our friends from the US, getting a PCR test seems to be very difficult. You have to know someone just about. And most people are getting what they call here a fast test from an urgent care places, which we don't have that much knowledge about, but most of you probably do. The big thing with the difference between the PCR and the fast test is that with the fast test, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks here. Now, they do that very, very loosely. So if you're booked for 1 or 2 weeks here, they consider that the quarantine and resort. And so far, we haven't heard of anyone being turned away or being held to ransom for having to stay an extra couple of weeks. So that covers the test part of it. The other things you have to do, and this is really key if you want to get through the immigration line in Honduras with a bit of ease, and that is you have to sign in to Honduran immigration. And there's two things you want to do with that. Once you get signed in, you can do that anytime, but again, 72 hours before your arrival, you have to fill out two forms. One is the declaration that tells you where you're staying, all the other things that you're testing, and where you live and where you're going to, numbers. And then the other one is the immigration information, and that's about 5 pages. For all of these, print it. Do not rely on your phone. We saw people trying to do this and they got this. So you got to wait. And it's not a lot of fun for those people. We got through with pretty much fair ease. We had everything there, and they had another form that they gave us on the plane, which they immediately crumpled up because we had all our other forms done. If you don't have all those done, it's going to take you an extra half an hour getting through, so you don't want that, especially when they don't have very well air-conditioned immigration entry points. So again, for both Canadians and for our US friends, the thing is getting the name right. Has to be right because they're going to look at the passport and they're going to look at the declaration. If it's a PCR, no problem. If it's a fast test, just be ready to make sure that you understand. Yes, we know we're not leaving the resort at all, and then getting a negative response and also the date and time. So we'll cover some more things tomorrow. So for now, Dive Whisperer, have a great day.